Hi guys, it's Margot. I am just sitting in my kitchen and thought I'd make a quick video. We went to Las Vegas. It's a couple hours away from where we live, and my oldest son and his friend and I went there to go post-Christmas shopping. He wanted money for Christmas to buy things in Vegas. So we went there, and I had these best friends. 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th grade, and 7th grade they moved, and he's a senior now. So they moved to Boulder City, which is outside of Las Vegas, and we met them in Vegas, and it was so cool. I mean, they're twins, and they were just together constantly, these boys, and his friend as well that went with him, and so it was such a wonderful reunion. It was one of those where you haven't seen each other for a while. You were, prepubescent, now you're men, and within 10 seconds it was like they never left each other. It was like they hung out every single day. So it was really cool. It was a really great experience. On a little sad kind of note, we were waiting in line. I think I mentioned I'm in a wheelchair, so I was in a wheelchair. When you see someone else in a wheelchair right next to you, you sort of notice. And there was this really old lady. I mean, she must have been 95 to 105. I mean, she was just slouched over, and she was just in the wheelchair, and everyone was just, pushing her around. I mean, she couldn't do anything, and I felt so sorry for her. I just felt like, it's so hard to get old and stuff. So she went and sat down, and the boys' parents came with us, and so it was kind of we were a bigger group, and so the dad said, hey, we can split them up, the 4 boys and then the 3 adults. He and his wife and then I. So we did. So we split up. We were about 4 tables away. But right next to my son's table was that little old lady with her little old husband, and then it looked to be like her daughter and son-in-law, and 5 or 6 people. And she choked, apparently on broccoli. And she stopped breathing, and she slunched over, and they were hitting her back with their fists, just pounding on it. And I mean, this poor little lady, she must have just broken rib after rib with them pounding. She did not come to. She did not stop choking. A security guard came over and attempted the Heimlich. He just started punching sideways onto her chest, and I know he broke ribs, but he was not doing the Heimlich correctly. And I was looking over at my son like, go help him. And he was just such a soft heart. He was just like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is happening. They were getting grossed out, I guess, because they were trying to get the stuff out of her mouth, and they're eating it. They were scared. You could tell they were really scared. And they finally got her breathing again, and everyone was just staring, and I'm like, do you want to call an ambulance? And then I'm like, should I call an ambulance? And there were so many people gathered around her family, the security. So I thought, of course they've called. And then the security guy yelled out, anyone call 911? And I was like, oh my word. So they got her breathing again, and the ambulance came, and the EMTs, and took her away. And poor little thing, like, she's so old. I'm like, I hope it was the last little Christmas with her little family, and ended up really happy, or that she's going to be a-okay, but she's going to have some serious broken bones, and I mean, it was a nightmare. Anyway, that was really sad and crazy, but the guy I was with went up and said, Justice, what did you do to that lady, because he was sitting by her, and they were so terrified, and trying to make it light. And oftentimes people make jokes or make light comments when they're nervous or scared, or some people when they're nervous they laugh, and that's the worst thing you can do if you're doing something inappropriate, or make joke. Just everyone deals with it their own way. And the reason I'm bringing that up is because 2 things happened this weekend. One is I said, my boys are shopping at all these boys stores. I'm going to go in Sephora, and I'm going to buy myself one thing. I want to buy one thing. I love Kat Von D's stuff. I've only bought 2 things of hers, but I heard she came out with a bunch more stuff, and I was looking at it and talking to the salesperson, and they're like, I love Kat Von D stuff, and I said, can you match, my color up to like some foundation? Maybe I'll start a foundation to kind of cover all these little things, and I want to start putting makeup on a little bit and trying to at least look a little bit more presentable and feel better about myself. So step 1. So by the way, it's New Year's Eve, so I'm thinking of New Year's resolutions and stuff. Anyway, I was in there, and I said, I really like more of a nude lip, but I don't know if I can pull it off. I'm pretty pale, and I just don't know. Some people I noticed can't really pull it off as well. He said there's a perfect nude lip, so he tried, can I try some on you? He did. I loved it, and he said, actually this color got discontinued because it, Kat Von D is really into Beethoven and Bach and classical music and Spanish influence. Her parents are from Mexico, and she names all her stuff, and I love the names. She comes up with really unusual names, and one palette was Ludwig, one palette was Beethoven, one palette was, just, she has really great names. Well, she has really cool names for her lipsticks, and it's very personal what she thought. Like, one color was, I don't know, they're all personal stories, and she actually goes into detail in some of them in interviews and stuff. But the lipstick I wanted was called Celebutard. And somebody with an autistic child had a fit and said they were going to sue her, or it's disrespectful, or whatever the case. And so she just pulled it, told her why she named it that, told her why she was pulling it, and just decided to pull the color. And so I don't know if she'll rename it or what, but I just thought, how do you guys feel about that? Like, I have people in my family with disabilities. I'm not mentally disabled, apparently, but I am physically disabled. There's color issues. This year was Santa black, is Santa white? Why does it have to be white? The whole Phil Robertson thing with Duck Dynasty, and then Beyonce put out that new video album, and she just got bashed and in trouble because at the beginning of one song called EXO, it's about love, and you never know when you're going to go, and so treat everyone kindly and really tell everyone you love them every time you see them, that kind of a thing. And it was sort of a tribute to people she loved and stuff, but she started it with a little news. It wasn't a video news clip, it was just a oral part of the news when the Challenger, the Space Shuttle Challenger crashed, and it just said, it was the guy saying, I think something went wrong, just a little blip. I didn't even notice it, and I've listened to the album like 7 times. So anyway, a couple of the widows heard about it of the Challenger and said it was disrespectful and it was hurtful and it brought up horrible memories. And okay, maybe it is. I've never lost somebody like that, but she was making a tribute. I didn't even notice it was on there, and I don't think the widows and widowers of the Challenger really listen to Beyonce. And if they don't like the song, maybe they shouldn't listen to it. And like, if you have a child with a disability and you think Kat Von D is being disrespectful by naming one of her 70 lipsticks a name, like, maybe don't go in the Kat Von D section. It's like the biggest store I've ever seen. It's almost the size of a Walmart, and Kat Von D has a quarter of one little section. So it's like, maybe don't go over there, or don't purchase her things or something. Like, why do we make such a big deal out of things? And maybe I'm missing the point. I've been offended. I've had people offend me or say things inappropriate, and I assume they didn't mean it that way. So I don't know. I'd love to hear what you guys think.